Hello chefs, I'm Chef Arun, an associate professor with the All India Shri Shivaji Memorial Society's College of Hotel Management and Catering Technology. Today, we'll be looking into the glossary terms, and in this session, we'll be doing terms related to A and B. The objective is to learn the technical terms related to the kitchen. Let's get into it, chefs. The first one is aging, which means to hold meat in coolers under controlled conditions to allow natural tenderizing to take place. Two types in this, wet aging and dry aging. The second one is a la carte, referring to a menu on which individual item is listed with a separate price. Also can be referred to cooking to order as opposed to cooking ahead in large batches. Al dente, or firm, not soft or mushy to bite, it is said of a vegetable and pasta. It's a cooking term which we generally refer to cooking of pasta, where we see that a little bit rawness is maintained in the pasta. Allemande means German style, or also a sauce made of velouté, usually veal, a liaison that would include cream and egg yolk and finished with lemon juice. Allumette, cut into matchstick-sized shapes, usually refers to potatoes, thinly chopped or sliced and used as a garnish. Americano, which means espresso diluted with hot water. Anaerobic, requiring an absence of oxygen to live and grow, said of a bacteria. Two types, aerobic and anaerobic. Anthocyanins, red or purple pigments in vegetables and fruits, which add the color value to a product. Antipasto, which means a platter of Italian hors d'oeuvres, or could be said as another term for hors d'oeuvres in Italian. Arborio rice, a variety of short grain rice from Italy, made in the classical preparations or used in making of the classical preparation risotto. Argenteuil, which means garnished with asparagus. Aspic jelly, a clarified stock that contains enough gelatin to solidify when cold. And there's another version of it, which is aspic powder, which is unflavored gelatin mixed with powdered stock base used for presentation purposes. Also, it adds a lot of flavorful value to a finished product. A gratin, having a brown or crusted top, often made by topping with breadcrumbs, cheese, and or a rich sauce and passing under the broiler or salamander. Au jus, served with its natural juices, usually unthickened pan drippings. After the roast is done, the juices are collected and served with after it has been seasoned. Abgolemeno, which is a Greek soup made of chicken stock, egg, and lemon juice. Bain-marie, a container of hot water used for keeping foods hot. Various varieties and versions are available now. The basic purpose is to keep food hot during service or in the kitchen area to maintain the temperature of the food. Bake, to cook foods by surrounding them with hot dry air, similar to roast, but the term bake usually applies to breads, pastries, vegetables, and fish. Basically an oven as an equipment used in the process. Baked Alaska, a classical dessert consisting of ice cream on a sponge cake base covered with meringue and browned in an oven. It is also flambéed before service. Barbecue, to cook with dry heat created by the burning of hardwood, or by the hot coals of this wood. Bard, to tie thin slices of fat, such as pork fat back, over meat with no natural fat cover to protect them while roasting, which adds to the flavor and the juiciness into the product. Baitonet, cut into sticks about 1/4 into 1/4 into 21 by 3 inches or 6 mm into 6 mm. Batter, a semi-liquid mixture containing flour or other starch used for the production such as products for cakes and breads, a thin slurry kind of a thing, and for coating products to be deep fried. Bavarian cream, a dessert made of custard sauce, gelatin, and whipped cream. Baigné, a fritter, something that is deep fried. Béarnaise, a sauce made of butter and egg yolks and flavored with reduction of vinegar, shallots, tarragon, and peppercorns. Bechamel, the classic mother sauce made by thickening of milk with a roux, where ingredients of equal quantity of refined flour and butter to 10 parts of milk and seasoned with salt and pepper. Also, onion started with cloves can be used to flavor the milk. Bermani, a mixture of equal parts of raw butter and flour mixed together into a smooth paste, a dough which further made into small pellets or balls and used as a thickener for stews. Beurre noir, butter heated until it is dark brown, then flavored with vinegar. Bisque, a cream soup made from shellfish. It falls under the category of thick soups. Bivalve, a mollusk with a pair of hinged shells such as clam and oysters. Also in the picture, you can see mussels, you can see razor shells, gapers, scallops, etc. Blanch, to cook an item partially and briefly in boiling water or in hot fat. Usually a pre-preparation technique as to loosen peels from vegetables, fruits, and nuts, to partially cook French fries or other foods before service, to prepare for freezing, or to remove undesirable flavors. The basic process is to follow the technique of pre-preparation and also to enhance the color of the product. Boar, a wild pig or meat from this animal. Blancmange, an English pudding thickened with cornstarch, or a second version or a French version would be almond flavored pudding containing gelatin and milk. Blanquette, a white stew made of white meat or poultry simmered without preliminary browning and served with a white sauce. Boeuf à la mode, a classic French dish of braised beef. Boil, to cook in water or other liquid that is bubbling rapidly about 212 degrees Fahrenheit or 100 degrees Celsius at sea level and at normal pressure. Bomb, a molded ice cream or a sherbet dessert. Identification is the semi-hemisphere with flavored ice creams in the center. Bordelaise, a brown sauce flavored with a reduction of red wine, shallots, pepper, and herbs, garnished with marrow. Botulism, a deadly foodborne intoxication usually associated with improperly canned foods. The Clostridium botulinum bacteria is responsible for this. A lot of foodborne illnesses are related to this disease. Ukigani, a combination of fresh herbs tied together, usually used for flavoring of stocks, soups, etc. Bouquetière, garnished with assortment of bouquet of fresh vegetables such as artichokes, carrots, turnips, green beans, peas, cauliflower, and potatoes. Braise. The first definition is to cook covered in a small amount of liquid, usually after preliminary browning. To cook certain vegetables slowly in small amount of liquid without preliminary browning. Breve, a mixture of espresso and steamed half and half mixture of milk and cream instead of only milk. Brine cure, a curing method in which the food is simmered, is immersory in a solution that is brine made of curing ingredients dissolved in water. Like in the picture, it is 1 part of salt to half of sugar and 16 to 20 parts of water. Brioche, a rich yeast dough containing large amounts of eggs and butter, or the product made from this dough. Broil, to cook with radiant heat from above. The filament on top transfers the heat to the product and further cooks it. Broth, a flavorful liquid obtained from the simmering of meats and or vegetables. Classified as a unpassed thin soup. Brunoise, cut into very small 1/8 inch or 3 mm dice, used as a garnish for vegetables cut in this manner. Bruschetta, a slice of toasted Italian bread served as an appetizer, usually rubbed with garlic and moistened with olive oil, often served with additional toppings. Bulgur, a type of cracked wheat that has been partially cooked. Buttercream, an icing made of butter and or shortening blended with confectioner's sugar and sugar syrup. Sometimes other ingredients can be added. Used for decorative purposes. Butterflied, which means cut partially through and spread open to increase the surface area. Thank you very much for your patient listening. We have done terms related to the words A and B from the reference book Professional Cookery, which is the 6th edition written by Wayne Gislin. To also attempt the quiz mentioned in the description. For any queries and doubts, mail on arunSherkr14@gmail.com. Thank you again.